back to you on some things? Or?
The medical examiner's reports are completed in the Turley case, and so what will occur is a typical procedure where a defendant, like any other defendant, will be arraigned, be given a bond if appropriate, set for preliminary hearing. That'll be the first substantive stage in the criminal process in court for the case that was filed this morning on the triple homicide.
Have you all discussed death penalty yet as where you might head?
That would be something internally, ultimately between the district attorney's office and the Tulsa County Sheriff's office. It would be premature to comment on that.
So with this gentleman pleading yesterday, he's not getting out of jail anytime soon?
He pled and was sentenced to 32.5 years yesterday. He has a constitutional right to attempt to withdraw his plea within 10 days. Today is day 9, and so in 9 days he could attempt to withdraw his plea, but we will continue all of that in due time in court. In the meantime, he has been sentenced, and so we anticipate him remaining this time in the Tulsa County Jail and could not be released.
Question for the sheriff. Did you learn anything new or did anything solidify after you formally found Dwayne and Cookie?
What I will tell you is that it allowed us to go back and tighten up our timeline and series of events as they occurred. And yes, it did add a certain aspect to us being here today for sure. I mean, identifying the victims is always step number one, right? And so that did bring an integral part into this case and allowing us to move forward and presenting charges to the district attorney's office.
What is the reaction of the families of the victims to today's developments?
They were notified and certainly appreciative of the work of the people behind me, and it provides a tiny bit of closure. It's the first part in the criminal justice system. Obviously, the judicial part will take place next, and I think, like the rest of us, they hope that things run as smoothly as they can in a case like this moving forward, and that justice will prevail.
Can you give us any insight as to how the car got to Mohawk Park? Did he walk back to Turley? This is, yeah, it's close together, but it's also spread out. Would you say he was busy? Or how would you describe that activity?
Well, I would tell you that it would not be unheard of, nor would it be difficult based on the proximity as you see them, for someone to take those cars, dump them off, and get back to a certain point in the investigation, or I'm sorry, in the wherever it is they were going to. Any other questions? Yes.
Is this just kind of provide relief to your office to make it this far? Is your part, where are you guys at in your work in this case? That makes sense.
So charges have been filed, obviously, but we still have work to do on this case. We still would ask the public that any information that they may still be holding on to go ahead and call us, that there is no fear from this individual getting out. And again, there's still things that we are going to send up for testing through the labs. In these cases, in terms of relief, absolutely. This is an individual that we believe committed, now 4 murders. And so this is somebody that we need off the streets. But at the same time, I think the family is probably a little bit more relieved than we are. Again, the closure is something very big. If you've ever lost somebody to violence, and it's tough already to begin with, but when you don't know why or how or who, it makes it that much more difficult. So in terms of what they're feeling now and what we're feeling is, well, we have some answers now, and I think some pretty important ones. And so moving forward, we can take a deep breath, but the work must continue.
So can you explain the connection, if there is one, between him pleading guilty yesterday and then the charges being filed today?
Well, other than we were still working through some things, and it just happened to coincide with his trial, there really is no better answer than that. a lot of it was happenstance. And then, of course, he's got 10 days in which to waive or go back on his no contest plea. But no, other than that, Randy, it was just the way that the chips fell on this one.
We don't have the autopsy for Cookie and Dwayne, but we saw Jack's, and it was very brutal. Would you say Cookie and Dwayne had a similar death?
Yes.
Can you, since the James Williams thing was almost 2 years ago, can you recap, how you found him, who this man is?
Which one? You guys here?
I have a basic.
Okay, so the detectives that worked at the time aren't here. He was found in his driveway and had found deceased in his driveway from apparent stab wounds.
I misspoke earlier. The preliminary reports are done on Dwayne and Glinda, but not the formal reports. Forgive me.
Eric, can you shed some light on the relationship between the accused and his relationship with Richard? Do you know what was your investigation able to determine why he stabbed that individual that ended up dying in the hospital?
Statements that were made in open court throughout the course of that particular trial showed no apparent motive or connection between the two that we could determine. Ultimately, those are open to speculation. It's difficult to know motive without getting into someone's head, which we were, of course, not able to do. But we were not able to definitively identify a motive in the Richard Bonat homicide.
Was Richard also homeless?
Richard was homeless at the time, yes.
Any other questions?
And I wonder, so has Mr. Good, has he been evaluated like at the forensic center or anything like that? Has he any kind of psychological evaluation?
I can tell you that his attorneys did not request an evaluation related to mental health issues, and so the easy answer to that is no. Whether he himself may have mental health issues, that's ultimately something that we would not know. But his attorneys have not requested an evaluation from the Department of Mental Health.